All right, so today we're going to look at the metric system of measuring length, all right? So let's take a look at this slideshow, okay? All right, so this right here is a centimeter. A centimeter is about the same size as one M&M. Now, not the peanut M&Ms like the Stafford lights, the regular plain M&Ms. That is about the size of a centimeter. Centimeters are used to measure small objects. We put several centimeters together to make a metric ruler. If we add those numbers to the stick, this is what it will look like. Now we can use this metric ruler to measure larger objects like pencils, books, and keyboards. How long is this pencil? So look at where it starts at the end and where it stops. Did you say 7 centimeters? How long is this keyboard? Did you say 22 centimeters? How tall is this stack of books? Did you say 12 or 13 centimeters? What if we wanted to measure really small things? If you look very closely at a centimeter, you'll see it's divided up into 10 tiny parts. Let's make it bigger to see these little parts. Each one of these tiny parts is called a millimeter. There are 10 millimeters in every centimeter. So remember, this part right here, this whole thing is 1 centimeter. We just blew it up a little bit. Each one of these little parts is a millimeter, and it takes 10 of these to equal 1 centimeter, or 10 of these to equal 1 M&M. Remember though, millimeters are very, very tiny. 10 of them are in every centimeter. So some items that may need to be measured with millimeters are eraser tips, fingernails, and eyelashes. When we need to measure larger items, we need to put a lot of centimeters together. In fact, we need 100 centimeters to make 1 meter. This is about 30 centimeters. So we need a little over 3 of these to make a meter. Put all of these end to end and you make a meter stick. Meters are used to measure things like desks, rooms, and hallways. What if you wanted to measure distances between places that are far apart, like from Charlotte to Disney World? That's a long distance. It would take a long time to do it with a meter stick, wouldn't it? To measure long distances with metrics, we use kilometers. To make a kilometer, it takes 1,000 meters. 1,000 of these end to end would make one kilometer. Too many to show on this screen. The family car is a great place to see kilometers, or some people say kilometers. If you look at the speed dial in the car, you'll see that the speed of the car can be seen in 2 ways, miles per hour and kilometers per hour. When we write numbers in metrics, we usually don't write out the whole word. There are shorter names for each unit of measurement. Metric abbreviations. Millimeter is mm. Centimeter is cm. Meter is just m. And kilometer or kilometer is km. Pretty easy to remember, right? Let's review. To measure very small objects and distances, what do we use? Millimeters. To measure objects like pencils, what do we use? Centimeters. To measure objects like rooms or hallways, what do we use? Meters. And to measure long distances from here to Disney World, what do we use? Kilometers. Here's a conversion chart. All right, so let's look at this apple. The height of this apple, do you think it would be 3 centimeters, 60 centimeters, 10 centimeters, or 1 meter? Well, we know it would not be a meter, so we could cross that out. Let me see if I could put my little annotate thing on here. We could cross this out. We know that a centimeter is like an M&M. So if we take 60 M&Ms, wouldn't that be way taller than this apple? So we could probably cross that out. And I would also say if we take 10 M&Ms, it would also be too high, so we could cross this out. So the correct answer for the height of this apple would be 3 centimeters. Go to the next one. Hold on. All right, we'll just do it this way. No problem. All right, so here we have a dresser. All right, so think about a dresser. Do we think our dresser would be 90 M&Ms? Maybe? Let's put a question mark. Do we think our dresser would be 3 meters? That's 3 meter sticks? Probably not. What about 45 M&Ms? Cross it out. What about 30 M&Ms or 30 centimeters? I would probably say that it would be 90 centimeters as well. All right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, let's take a look at this flagpole. All right, so the flagpole, do you think the flagpole would be let's start at the bottom. Do you think it would be 2 kilometers? I would say no, it wouldn't be 2 kilometers. All right, do you think the flagpole would be 300 M&Ms? Maybe? I don't know. Okay, let's look at 2 meters. Do we think it would be 2 meters? I think 2 meters would probably be too short as well, which means that these 300 centimeters would be too short. I would say that the flagpole would be 9 meters. All right, now let's take a look at, matter of fact, let's go to some conversions, all right? Let's say that the jogger ran 6 kilometers. How many meters were that? Well, we just learned that there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So if we have, let's annotate that. We know that there are 1,000 meters equal to 1 kilometer. So if we have 6 kilometers or kilometers, that would be equal to 6,000 meters. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, this one says, which unit would you measure the length of a car? All right, so we have meters or centimeters, and when we're talking about a car, we're talking about how long your parents' car is. Will we use centimeters or meters? I would probably say that our best one to use would be meters. We probably could use centimeters, but it's going to take us a little bit longer. So the fastest way would be to use, or the best way would be to use meters. All right, let's look at this one. It says, which is longest? You have 4 kilometers, you have 2,000 centimeters, and you have 2,000 meters. Well, off that, I know that 2,000 centimeters is out of the question. So I know that it is between 4 kilometers and 2,000 meters. Well, I know that there are, again, 1,000 meters equal to 1 kilometer. So therefore, 2,000 meters is equal to 2 kilometers, which means that my answer for the longest would be A, 4 kilometers. All right, let's look at this one. This will be our last one, and then you can go do your work. All right, let's look at this one. All right, this one says, what unit of measurement would be the best to use to in finding the distance from our classroom to Miss Peterkin's classroom? Now remember, I know we've been out of school for a while, so just remember where our classroom is compared to what Miss Peterkin's classroom is. So the best unit to measure, to use, we wouldn't use millimeters. We could, but that would take a long time. We wouldn't use centimeters. Again, we could, but that would take a long time. We definitely don't need kilometers, because usually when you're measuring with kilometers, that requires you to get like in a car or something like that. So in order to just go across the hallway to Miss Peterkin, the best way to use would probably be to use meters. All right, go ahead and you can get started on your assignment.